I'll come back. 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 I'll come back.
Oh boy.
Oh, yay.
All right, tell me when we should start a countdown and we'll do this. Very well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this iteration of the Barcast, where the bar is fucking in China already. So, today we have a guest here. Her name is Sophianna. You may know her as Diamondia Doodle. So, hello there. Welcome to the Barcast.
Hi, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, and your bartenders today will be no longer a non-pencil.
Darn!
Enigmatic Otaku.
I murdered her.
Lambie, who's her stand-in currently.
I'm pencil for the day. This is going to be fun.
Indeed.
Okay, pencil.
Yeah, we will be calling you Pencil now. We got the ever wonderful Milk.
Thanking emoji.
Yo, milk.
And we've got Ravage.
I swear we didn't bury Pencil under the tree.
No, we did not. We buried her over the tree.
I'm right here.
Indeed.
We
and
buried.
of course, I am the very sick Flammenwerfer, who will be taking Pencil and Priest's stead as Priest is having cool birthday shit. Go post his happy birthday on as well. I'm sure he'd really appreciate that. Wink, wink.
Oh, happy birthday!
Even though it's in 3
Priest.
days.
Yeah, I'm doing a birthday party this evening myself for one of my other founders, one of my other co-founders.
Huzzah, huzzah! So we'll jump right into the general interview questions. In that case, Sophianna, for our guests, for those who don't know you, who are you and what have you done for this fandom?
Well, my name is Sophianna Ardinger, and yes, I do use my full name, and I am a fairly open book. I am one of the three main founders for Babscon. I am one of I was basically vice chair the second year, and I was head of business the first year. And since then, I have been head of convention theatrics or theme at Babscon for the last 3 years because we've done some unusual things with that. As far as what I've done for the community, well, what haven't I done? I have basically founding a convention is a pretty big thing to do for the community. I have attended other conventions. I have done room parties. I, for a while, was doing artwork. So that's me, for at least as far as the community goes.
Excellent, excellent. Now, because I don't do this often, Milk, what was the second question again? How did we get into the fandom, right? Yes. So indeed. So Sophiana, that is super awesome. Co-founder of Babscon. Damn. And my first Babscon was last year, and that was pretty damn. It was cool. I have to say.
Awesome. I'm happy you had a good time. As far as how I got into the fandom,
yes.
It was a bet.
Ooh. Elaborate.
Tell us more.
In 2012, so myself and my boyfriend are involved in the long distance relationship from hell. Yeah, he lives in Edmonton, Canada. I live in California.
Got it.
And I've known him since 2007. But we started dating in late 2011. And in 2012, summer of 2012, he comes to me and he says, "We've been sharing our favorite shows. I have a show you have to watch." Okay. I know, hun, you don't do anime or animated things, but would you watch this show? Okay, well, what is it? Tell me what it is first before I'm not going to commit to anything unless I know what it is. It's My Little Pony. Hell no. No way. I grew up with that in the 80s. No. No way.
Right.
No way. No how. No way. Well, all right, fine. I understand that, but it's really good. You really need to watch. No. Okay, well, here's a documentary done by a high school student about the show, about why it's so popular, and I watched it. I'm like, that's fine. I just decided I was done with the furry fandom. I was done with conventions. I'm moving forward in my life. I'm not joining another community, and I'm not watching another show.
Right.
Okay. And he'd come back to it about once every few days. And I said, okay, fine. I'm not interested in this, but this seems really important to you. He says, okay, well, I'll make you a deal, he says. I bet you cannot watch the first 6 episodes of the show and still hate it.
Oh. Oh
What was
God.
the wager?
And if you hate it, I will never have you watch anything ever again. But if you like it, you cannot tell me that you won't watch something that I suggest ever again. And when your significant other makes this kind of bet, you kind of are like, okay, I'll go in. I'm determined to hate this, so I'm going to go in and watch this thing. And the first evening, we decided we were going to watch 2 episodes a night. And on, I think it was a Monday, we watched the first 2-parter, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is okay. I mean, the animation's not bad. The storyline is a little cardboardy and a little reaching with some of the elements, but it's pretty good. I can see where the appeal is. And we watched the second 2 episodes, and we watched the third 2 episodes on a Wednesday, and that was the last thing we did before he had to go to bed because he had an early morning the next morning. And I sat there and I watched episode 7, and then I watched episode 8, and then I looked out the window and realized I'd watched most of season 1 and the sun was coming up.
Oh God.
And I called out of work, and then I watched the rest of season 2, and I finally went to sleep that following evening. And I'm wiped out. Work was tough. Because at the time I didn't admit to having watched all of this because I would have intended to hate the thing. I have a little bit of pride.
Right.
And then I looked into what the community was like because I wasn't interested in joining the community. I just wanted to know what was going on with the community. And at the time, Bronies for Good had just really only been together, I think, about 6 months or a year at the time. And they had just raised some huge amount of money to go and help build orphanages in Africa and had sent people over there. All because they were inspired by the show. And I was like, okay, this is a fandom that's willing to get together and put their money where their mouths are, so to speak, and actually do good based on being inspired by the show.
Right.
And so I joined because of the charitable actions that the fandom was taking, and that's how I got into this whole mess. That's how this all started. And to this day, my boyfriend says every once in a while it'll come up, and he's like, "Are you done with Babscon yet? No. Are you done with that community yet? No. God, I created a monster,
So you experienced what I like to call the horse blackout or the horse hangover.
Yeah. Well, and then I went and did it again like 2 or 3 months later when the local Bronies did the Ultimate Brony Challenge, and they started on, was it Friday morning? I think it was Friday morning through Saturday morning to watch all of season 1 and all of season 2, ending with the season 3 premiere in one marathon in a theater. Like they had managed to get their hands on a theater, and that's where the caffeinated muffins came from. I made caffeinated muffins for that meetup. And to this day, the local Bronies are like, "Are you bringing caffeinated muffins?" No, they're a pain in the butt to make. Oh, I remember those. Like, it's been, 6 years now, and they're always like, "I remember those from the meetup." Yeah, it's been 6 years. Get over it.
Caffeinated muffins, isn't that just coffee cake?
No, actually, it's you can get powdered caffeine. And if you work out the ratios of what a cup of coffee is, how much caffeine's in a cup of coffee, what you can do is add that much to your cupcake batter or your muffin batter, and you mix it up and bake it like normal, and you have caffeinated muffins. I mean, it was, it was fun. Folks like those a lot.
Interesting. I'll say it. Oh, and someone did do well. Thank you, Lise, to remind me that the drinking word is indeed Babscon today.
Yes,
So,
it is.
so you all keep on that. Please don't go to the hospital.
Yeah, no, we don't. We want you to actually show up at Babscon. So
Exactly.
I'm going to say that word as often as possible, so you'll be absolutely plastered.
Well, we're off to a good start already.
Indeed. Now, on to a more polarizing question, one that has caused empires to rise and to fall. And of course, that question happens to be, who is best pony?
Okay, that's a complicated question for me because for the longest time it was Rainbow Dash.
Okay.
Because I at the time was doing fight choreography and doing rock climbing and a lot of very daring and adrenaline rushy kind of stuff. Up until I injured myself to a point where I can't do those things as much anymore. But I have to say, Starlight Glimmer's story arc in season 6 has actually made her probably my favorite pony. To watch her develop from a villain and someone who doesn't quite, who's got this troubled past into basically a hero over the course of a season was very, very interesting and very well done. So just on that right there, she is probably my favorite pony. But I still have a soft spot in my heart for Rainbow Dash. So
yeah, there are definitely two sides of the fence to those arguments.
Yes.
Troubled past, you say? Like her troubled past was that the boy she liked moved away.
Yeah, effectively. I mean, come on. But then again, they are ponies, and they are prone to emotionally overreacting.
Indeed, my crush was just dragged away after he got his cutie mark. I'm gonna go become a communist.
Aww.
Exactly.
So,
it's
that's
what
all I
my
took
tramp stamp was telling me.
Exactly. All right, so I think that does it with the regular interview questions. So we'll go right into the fan submitted questions. If someone can also keep an eye on the chat with any questions that come up, that would be super helpful.
You got it.
All right, so starting with Sunbro for Life, he asks, "What's your favorite video game?"
Favorite video game? Favorite video game of all time. I've been gaming since you had to program video games into computers in order to play them, so that's a tough one. I have to say, my favorite video game, and not the one I play the most, has to be Elite Dangerous. I have a really big soft spot in my heart for space combat sims and space trading sims and that kind of open universe stuff. I also happen to like that Elite Dangerous is based on current astrometric data from the real world. They regularly sync their star charts and maps up with data from Hubble and NASA.
Oh wow!
So they're actually modeling as close as possible, given our science and technology, the real universe that we live in. Which means you can actually fly to the galactic core if you want, and you can fly to Wolf 359 and other real world stars that exist.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It can be really fucking boring when you're flying 20,000 light years to the edge of known space, and it's going to take you 70 some odd jumps, and you have to sit there. Each jump takes a minute. So it could be really boring, but it could also be a lot of fun depending on your mood. So, but it happens to be my favorite game, I think.
Alrighty, and by extension from that, do you happen to know what your favorite boss fight is?
Oh, my favorite boss fight in any video game has to be Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid. First time I encountered that was a creepy ass boss fight. Because he could read how I was playing the game and control my controller, and it was tough beating him until you figured out if you switched what port your controller was plugged into, and he suddenly couldn't read your actions. But yeah, that has to be my favorite boss fight because that's a good use of meta narrative in a video game. And it was a tough fight. It was fun.
I see you're a fan of Castlevania.
Yes, yeah. I see you're a fan of or what is the other one? Psychonauts. If you had a Psychonauts saved game on your card too, I think he says something.
Yeah, because they're both Hideo Kojima games.
That's right.
The old days where the games would sneak meta stuff in there.
Yeah.
Shit
Oh,
was
yeah.
really cool.
They don't
And
make them like that anymore.
no, they certainly don't. Good microtransactions. So, and I'm going to attempt to do this as well as possible. Have you accepted Skeletor, the master of the universe, into your heart?
I will
Good job.
say I have not, but I am not adverse to the idea. Tell me more.
Very well then.
Well, you see, Skeletor.
You can always have a boner.
You see, Skeletor. He
That's
approaches
true,
you.
actually.
Bruh.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
You see,
No.
the way the process works is that Skeletor will give you spaghetti, and then after you eat it, he takes his boner towards
Enigma,
you.
what are you on about?
And it
Yeah,
starts
what the fuck?
glowing, and he says Skeletor is in
Oh.
here, and he's
I have no idea what the fuck you were just talking
Enigma,
about.
stop.
Jesus Christ. Alright, so you are in Small Ponyburg. What business do you start?
Well, probably a brewery, actually. Brewery, bar and brew, basically. I'm all big about doing that stuff.
won't you have competition though? Doesn't Berry Punch have one?
Berry Punch might just have a like a
winery.
bar.
Like,
Yeah, she's a
probably has a
winery.
winery.
I'm a meadery. I would be making mead and ales probably.
Gotcha. Alright, and then alcoholism rises in Ponyville.
My
Or
favorite.
Threefold.
Oh yes.
Goddamn. The series would be a little different if like Twilight was drunk.
There is a
Like-
panel that shows up at conventions called My Little Pony Hold My Cider, which is designed specifically to make the point that there are many episodes of the series that make a hell of a lot more sense if one pony at the beginning of the episodes turns to another one and says, I can do that better, hold my cider.
Oh god.
The idea being that they're drunk most of the time for many episodes, which makes many episodes make a hell of a lot more sense.
Wait, so
Do you have any examples?
Let's see. The big one, of course, is any episode where Rainbow Dash and Applejack are facing off.
So it's just two drunk ponies trying to have a go at each other.
Any episode that makes more sense if the ponies are drunk.
you know what I was gonna say was it's Twilight, and she turns to Spike and says, "I can finish Star Wars spell. Hold my
Right.
cider."
Right? Yeah, that's another good example. But there's like an hour. I've run this panel actually. It's not my panel. I am the West Coast representative of the folks that made the panel.
Mhm.
But it's one of about 10 or 15 panels that we loosely call the Science of Ponies. But there's an entire 15-minute, hour and a half minute long panel on My Little Pony Hold My Cider. It's a pretty fun. It's probably the most amusing of the bunch of the panels to run. It's supposed to be fun.
Sweet. And let's see. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
You didn't
Simba.
sing it.
Yeah, you got to sing it.
Motherfucker. I
Where
completely forgot
in the
about that.
world is Carmen San Diego?
Come on, Clem. She's singing her own
I'm
question.
sick, you be quiet, you.
Sick
Zimbabwe.
is not an excuse.
Carmen San Diego is in Zimbabwe today.
Oh, so she's somewhere in South America then.
Yep,
Hold on.
Enigma.
that's South
You
Africa.
piece of shit.
Seriously.
Did you even go to school?
No, apparently not.
They don't really have great facilities.
I was too cool for
in
it.
Mexico City. You weren't too cool for anything.
Don't you?
Stay in your lane.
All right. In that case, number 6. Do you even praise bro?
Well,
Bro.
I was trying to figure this one out, and I do. I do praise bro. I praise bro every day, because bro is awesome.
All right. Okay. Now this one is a picture, so if Milk, you could bring it up, as you can also see it as well. So according to
It
Let's
does.
see. Let us
let's see.
decide.
Well, in that
Honestly
case,
awful.
the question is, how does it make you feel?
Hold
A
on.
little.
You gotta bring it up.
Uncomfortable.
You have to bring that up and show. I could. It's a show and tell kind of picture.
What the fuck is that?
That's a supremely
Yeah,
creepy.
Don't make it bigger.
That's
It's like
I said don't.
so.
No,
size
no,
doesn't
swear to God.
matter.
Is that what makes horse butter so good? It has like horse fetus in there.
Enigma, stop.
There you go. Well, you
It's
guys
time to
discuss this
stop.
for 1 more minute. I need to make sure my dog doesn't kill herself.
Yeah.
Well, while he's
1 second.
he's doing that, we had a question from the chat.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Sophianna, how big is your pecker? You know.
I don't have.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have one. So you know.
So it's
I would
inverted.
have to say, I would. Yes, it's an inverted pecker, and I would
Okay,
have to
so-
say I do have. I have to have steelies because I founded a ponycon that you can pry my ponycon from my cold dead hands. And we had to make some tough ballsy decisions that other conventions would have never made to survive as long as we have. So I have to say that I probably have some big heavy steelies, but I don't have a pecker. So
So hypothetically, if you did, how big would it be?
I'd have to say pretty big. Obviously.
I mean, anyone could be the half-inch wonder.
Am I gonna have to like whip it out one day just to prove everyone wrong?
Just make sure you don't do like our friends did.
If you're
and
that
slam it on the
inferior.
keyboard.
Wait, Sophie. So repeat what you said. I didn't hear you. Were your friend in?
We had a friend back in the days of when I was still a part of the furry fandom who they were making fun. They were talking about how there's no way he could have a pecker that was like longer than 7 inches or whatever, and he's like, "I'll prove it!" And he whipped his dick out and slammed it on his keyboard. And
Oh
took
my
a
God.
picture of it.
Jesus.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Where did that come from?"
That sort of reminds me of that one internet joke. It was like, "Girl, if I whipped out my dick and put it on the keyboard, it would reach from A to Z."
Yeah, except that yeah.
Yeah. That joke is old. That joke is so old. My grandfather fought beside it in World War II. So
I thought it was left in the trenches in World War One, but anyway.
that's probably true. It's probably both, actually. Jesus.
That's probably where he lost the rest of it and why it only reaches from A to Z.
I think someone would have needed a scope to shoot that off.
You talking about my penis again?
Yes.
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 I mean, if you're so insistent.
Well, if you mean a microscope, then yeah.
Ooh, yeah, probably. Nice.
Yeah, it's the little speck in the top corner of the lens.
It's a good thing I don't have to prove anything.
All right.
Because you've got no one you need to prove it to.
Oh, Jesus. All right, let's move on, shall we? So okay then. So, next question. Next from Eighth. I've heard this guy that you couldn't make aeroplane noises and talk dirty. I said he was wrong, but there is really only one way to prove it. You got to do it. Maybe slip in a daddy. It's for a friend.
Okay, I tried this, and I know for a fact I can't do it. I can't make airplane noises.
Show us your attempt.
No. I have a certain level of pride in my heart. As far as talking dirty, you know what? I could. I was known on Furry Muck as the mistress of flirts. But usually I have to know the person, unfortunately, because you have to tailor it. You really have to tailor your dirty talk to have the greatest impact to the person that you are talking to. And me talking dirty to an entire chat is kind of hard because it's easy. It's you can't tailor that to individuals,
Well, then why don't you just focus on me, baby?
Oh, come on.
That is something Pencil would say, actually.
You're a sexy bitch, and
Oh yeah.
honestly, I would love to get you alone together with my boyfriend, and it would be absolutely phenomenal.
Wow, Pencil. Sounds like you have a date tonight.
But
Sure does.
unfortunately, he's in Edmonton and I'm in California, and I have no idea where you're at. So you just have to use your imagination, baby.
Give me about 24 hours and I'll be right at your door.
All right, B. Yeah, coming over. BRB. Jesus.
I'm a little rusty on the whole flirt thing, but yeah, used to be really good.
All
Something
right.
a little lube can fix.
It would have
Maybe
to be
not
fun.
lube. Maybe WD-40.
You. Oh,
That was good, though. I'll have to say it.
that was good.
That was kind of smooth. I'll give you
That
that.
was a little slippery, just a little bit slippery. Sitting up that nice slope. Maybe you're gonna go a little deep. I got it.
I should slippery when wet.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So, Short Skirts and Explosions asks, "What doth life?"
What doth life? Life doth be the sum total of experiences that we all must partake, for in the end, that is all we have left. Our relationships, our journeys, our friendships, the actions we've taken and what we leave behind are nothing but memories in our final days.
And then stealing your grandchildren's nose as you go to the afterlife.
Yes, because everyone likes the stolen nose joke.
Exactly. And especially if they're young and impressionable. Alrighty. So, Grayson asks, say Irish wristwatch as fast as you can.
Irish wristwatch.
Wonderful.
Come on,
Irish
take two people.
An Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch. I can't say wristwatch.
Yeah, say it faster, Enigma.
Irish wristwatch.
You shouldn't have tried.
Jesus. All right. So now, Tony Montana, he asks, any interesting con stories you're willing to share, not restricted necessarily to Babscon?
I have quite a few from Babscon, but the ones I typically tell at It Can Only Happen at a Con panels are usually ones from my time in the furry fandom, because I spent 20 years off and on doing conventions there and have a lot of stories. I have two that come to mind. There's, for a convention called Conifer, which is no longer in existence, there was an incident where I was roaming around the party floor and I came across the con chair, dressed in nothing but a leopard print Speedo and absolutely drunk out of his mind. I don't even remember what he said at this point. I just remember contacting the con and them sending up Flair and staff and getting him to a quiet room and then calling the vice chair, who was apparently also drunk. And the other story I have is actually from Further Confusion, from I think the second year I was staff. And that was, we had someone come into the Creators Lounge, and everyone this was a year where everyone was buying, kind of soft plushies and carrying them around on their shoulders during the course of the con. You see it a little more commonplace now, but that was the first year I'd seen anybody do that. And so I'd bought this what we call Flat Fox, who is actually still around here in my apartment somewhere. I've had that stuffed fox forever. And had someone, I was sitting there drawing because I was off shift, and we had someone come in and picked up my fox from the table, and I started to protest, and he held up his finger, tossed it on the ground, picked up a thing of masking tape, and I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? I can't understand what this guy's doing.
Jesus.
And he sat down and on the floor and did a taped outline of my plush fox and handed my fox back. And the guy across from me, who's also an artist, whose name I forget now, saw this, got a black Sharpie and the same thing of masking tape, and did tire treads across the cutout.
Oh my god.
And it expanded from there because, we have a road. So we had a fox that had been run over. So obviously we needed a road. So we moved the tables in the room and made a road that ran across the room.
Oh, jeez.
and it just kept going. And we eventually had one of the community guests that year come in and give a eulogy to the poor taped cutout of the fox, and we had people holding up scorecards, and it was this whole thing. It's a diagram that took over something like 60% of the Creators Lounge that year, and there are unfortunately no pictures of it, but there is a single release of what they called at the time the Furley Edition, which was a at-con newsletter that was put out twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. There was an issue of the Furley Edition that had a write-up about the bizarre hit and run that happened in the Creators Lounge. And the reason why there's no pictures of this is because the guy running the Creators Lounge came in afterward and was so offended by this diorama that had taken up half of the Creators Lounge that he tore it all down and threw it all out.
Oh my god.
Oh.
But I still, somewhere around here, I still have a copy of that Furley edition that was autographed by the vast majority of people that were involved in creating that thing. But stuff like that doesn't happen too often. Like I don't think I've ever heard of anything happening like that at an MLP con. And I think it's only ever happened something like that kind of just group inspiration thing. I think that's only ever happened once or twice at FurCons or any other con really. So, but those are two of my con stories.
All right. And then he goes on to ask, how are you enjoying this podcast?
Actually, it's a lot of fun. I like talking to people. I'm a fairly social person. So.
Awesome. Then there's still time to make it all go downhill. Sweet.
Good luck with that. You'll find that very hard for me. Very, very hard to do for me.
All right. So next, oh Jesus, my voice just cracked. Oh God, that's bad. So
clearly you need to go do some voice training.
No, I'm just sick. That's why.
Now he's waiting for his balls to drop. That's
yes. I can tell that you're a sick, twisted person. I get it, but that's a personality flaw, and we're okay with that.
That's not a flaw here, sweetheart.
No. That's a standard around here.
It's more of like a requirement, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
So wait, so we
Yeah,
all
we
have
can say on your resume, thick and twisted. All right, you're accepted. Next guy doesn't have it. Send him away.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Hired. Oh, fuck. All right, so Arcade Striker JK5 asks, what is your favorite non-MLP franchise?
That's actually kind of a tough one for me. I like a lot of things. I'm very good at taking most other franchises on their own merits, but I have to say, probably at the moment, Star Wars, and
right.
which dovetails into the next question that he's got, which I'll let you ask before I answer it.
All right. And in which case, I'm sorry. All right. So, with that being said, have you done anything else for a non-MLP franchise? You did say that you were involved in the furry fandom, but any other particular fandoms?
I was. In fact, I did live lightsaber fight choreography for a group called Saber Guild, which is the closest thing that Lucasfilm has to an official fight group.
Oh, wow.
Nice. So I have done stuff for non-MLP franchises, multiples, most notably Star Wars, and I am still in some of those groups, although I cannot actually do fight choreography due to I tore the tendons in one of my knees, so I can't move. I can't move around like I used to.
So you lost some with that injury. You lost some of your metachlorians.
Yeah, I lost a lot of metachlorians, unfortunately.
-5 to dexterity.
Yeah, -5 to dexterity, -2 running speed.
500
minus to constitution.
No, my con is just fine. I am just as durable as ever. I can,
except in that knee.
I can't run as fast. My mobility is shot.
Well, hey, I mean, you can make like a one-legged pirate, on a pogo stick and hop.
Yarr!
Doing, 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 doing.
There you go. So the initials of your of your username, he notes spells out SKA. Do you like ska?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I do. It also spells out this. Actually, it does not spell out the Society for Creative Anachronisms. Never mind. The initials SKA. Yeah, I do like ska. I like most music. The only two types of music I don't like are most country music and most rap music, and
Makes
that's
sense.
just because country music just doesn't sound right to me. That
I
makes any
agree.
sense. Like it's not a matter of content. It's just a matter of the composition, like something about the composition. And most rap is setting poetry to music, which is great and fine and wonderful and amazing. Please choose better subject materials. I don't want to hear how you went out and popped a bunch of guys and screwed a bunch of hoes. You know, like I to do something better with that art. And there are rap artists that do better. There are rap artists whose compositions are amazing, but the vast majority of them I find it hard to listen to.
I happen
And
to
that's
agree.
not to say that it's bad. It's just, again, it's not my kind of music.
Music
No, I
about
agree.
slapping the hose and stealing the money.
Yeah, it's all about the
Fucking-
money.
Slapping the hose.
It's like an Italian black guy rapping over a track. Oh, we are slapping the hoe.
Oh, Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
Pencil, are you saying that all black people are Italian?
That's
I slap
Maybe
the
the
hole.
I slap it the hole.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Yes, my
God,
son.
I'm failing my job. I'm not.
Okay,
supposed to be
all
starting
right,
this.
everyone. You heard it here. Black people are actually Italian. So,
You're gonna be so disappointed.
you heard it here first, and then someone out there's like, "Mamma mia."
Mamma mia.
We the Negroes.
God.
Okay, all right.
Dios mío.
Next questions. Fluffy Unicorn asks, "Furries are bad, and you should feel bad."
Okay.
Oh God.
This would be a bit like someone saying bronies are bad and you should feel bad. Like,
Aren't bronies technically a subset of furries?
okay.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Now you're on a subject.
No.
Now
yeah.
you're on a subject that I've spent a lot of time debating with my furry friends, who I still have a few, about.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look at the strict definition of what a furry is, a furry member of the furry fandom is a fan of anthropomorphic artwork, which by that definition, yes. By that strict definition, yes, bronies would be a subset of furries. But there's an important difference here. Furries don't have a single television show or a single source that
They don't
gives
have a
them
basis for everything.
they don't have a basis for what they do. And as a result of that, while the furry community can be incredibly welcoming and open, they are often they don't have kind of a moral compass. Not to say that all bronies follow the compass set down by the show.
What you're saying is that it's highly diverse and not focused.
That's right. That is correct. And there is a significant enough difference between furries and bronies that you can argue they could be a separate fandom. They're a related fandom, but they are a separate fandom. It's like Star Trek. It's like Star Trek and sci-fi conventions.
It's
Like,
a common ancestor.
It's a common ancestor. Sci-fi conventions cover all sci-fi, including Star Trek. But Star Trek conventions cater specifically to folks that are only a fan of that show. So there is a significant difference between the two, both in ethos and in creativity. Like I said, I did furry conventions for years. I walked into the dealer's hall at BronyCon in 2013
Uh-huh.
and was like, holy shit, this is what a vendor's hall should be. Because the sheer range of different types of stuff that people make in the brony community far exceeds your average furry vendor's hall. It really does. You've got glasswares and sculptures and I mean, this is just it's amazing, and you don't have that same spread of stuff in the other in the furry community. So,
Got it.
Like you're not gonna find humanized furry art.
Yeah.
No, actually you won't. Which is it's kind of, when you think about it, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I mean,
It defeats the purpose.
It kind of does. That doesn't to say that I don't consider myself a member of the furry fandom anymore. That doesn't mean I don't like the artwork. That just means that I'm not a huge fan of the culture within the furry fandom.
Got it.
But
Well,
the culture within the brony community is different. Like it feels different to me when I'm at a brony convention. So
well, I would actually very much like to weigh in on this because I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. Former furry, never really attached myself to the label because it had a really bad stigma about it. I think I only made like 2, maybe 3 really good friends from the furry fandom, and the rest of it was all drama involved. And I've been thinking about this because Enigma's a little shit, and he keeps posting a question on what's his name again? Author, daddy, author, whatever it was.
Daddy, silent author.
Yes. Everybody calls him daddy for some godforsaken reason. Anyways.
He calls me daddy. I call him son.
All right. So, and I was thinking about this. I would say they're 2 parts of the same coin. Not exactly on opposite sides, but they are definitely 2 parts of the same coin. Because in the one respect, you've got a very, I'm going to say, self-centered, very self-serving fandom from what my experience has been, versus a fandom that is extremely polar opposite of that. Furries are all about, what I'm doing and what I feel and how I like it, and I've gotten almost the exact opposite of that on brony fandom. So much more social and sociable.
Makes sense. Alrighty. So we'll move on to Alex _, the greatest intern of them all. And to which he asks, Sophie, what is your funniest anecdote?
Is Sophie still here? Because I noticed that she was quiet when Rav finished up and she didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry. I somehow ended up muted. This old headset of mine has a glitch where it occasionally mutes. What's my funniest anecdote? God, it's all contextual. I'd have to say the one that I still that made me laugh the hardest. I was playing Dead Island with my boyfriend and one of our friends from the UK, individual called Fopsy, who we call the Space Pastry, which has a whole nother story. And we're at the beginning of the level where you go and you get a pickup truck in order to drive back to your newly formed base. And we'd done this a couple of times. Myself and my boyfriend Bo, we had done it a couple of times, and we took Fopsy out to do this mission so that she could catch up. And we don't let her drive in video games. They don't let me drive in video games. Like I make a better gunner. I'm not a driver. But so we parked the thing, got out, turned in the mission, and while we're doing that, I was doing some crafting or something and watching the pickup truck. And Fopsy got into the pickup truck and started driving it back and forth, just forward and back and forward and back, and would hit the fence because one side of the base is a fence above a cliff, and you can't jump over the fence, and you can't get a vehicle over the fence. Apparently, at least we thought you couldn't. And she hits something, and the truck bounces and goes over the fence and down the cliff.
Oh, geez, sounds like Halo. Fucking.
And I'm sitting there watching, and I just start laughing, which is, about like I am now. And because we're on voice chat, and over the voice chat, she says, "Oops." And that was enough. That was just enough. And I was laughing so hard. I couldn't breathe. I fell out of my chair. I hurt. I couldn't, it was so bad. And anecdotes are all contextual. And that was just funny because of the interplay between the three of us and the situation at the time. And it's really hard to really, and I still laugh. I haven't talked with Fopsy in probably 3 years. And it still makes me laugh that whole thing. Oops. And of course, the truck went down on the beach. Vehicles aren't supposed to be on the beach in that game. It's hard to get a vehicle on the beach. So we had to go down and get the damn truck off the beach somehow. But it was so funny. So
Video game anecdotes are amazing. They can be contextual though. But God.
That particular one is highly contextual. You have to know all three of us for that to be really funny. But I've had other ones that are equally funny. We were playing Divinity. Myself and Rena and the boyfriend and another friend of ours, Kane, were playing Divinity Original Sin 2. And there is a spell in Original Sin 2. This one's funny. You guys might get this one. Called Enrage. And it gives you extra action points and extra damage and a bunch of other stuff. And my boyfriend's been casting it on Rena's character, who's a frontline DPS type.
Okay.
And Rena says, okay, Bo, it's time. Enrage me. And Bo says, okay, are you ready? You ready to be insulted? And Rena says, yes, I'm ready to be insulted. And he says, foxes are furry condoms, and casts the spell.
Oh, what?
It's a furry joke. It's the anthropomorphic furry. Rena's furry persona is a fox.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
Oh God. So for the next question, he asks, how did you come to found Babscon?
Okay, so at the time in 2012, 2013, I attended. I was getting more involved in the birding community. Like I was being a little more active on poster boards, and actually a lot of my Facebook posts started Dear Princess Celestia, which is kind of very nerdy when I think about it now. And I get this message from this person I don't know, out of the blue, that says, hey, would you attend a My Little Pony convention if it was in the Bay Area? This is 2013. And
Okay.
I think it was March. I said, yeah, probably. I'm kind of surprised there isn't one already, if I'm being honest. Because we have Further Confusion, we've got AOD, we have numerous gaming conventions. We had WonderCon for many years. Like, I'm surprised there isn't an MLPCon in San Francisco, the SF Bay Area. I mean, I could see one being in San Jose because it's kind of cheaper to have conventions in San Jose. And they said, okay, well, I'm looking at people who are willing to help staff a convention in the SF Bay Area. And I just want to make sure that people would be interested in attending it. And I said, well, I'm not really up for staffing another convention. I staffed a convention for 10 years almost, 9 years, I think. And I'm done. I'm done staffing conventions. I'll attend, but I won't staff it. Okay. And she went away, and she came back a couple weeks later and said, well, you sure you wouldn't be willing to staff even in a low-level position? Well, maybe. But I've got to go to San Diego Comic-Con and do a lightsaber choreography for a halftime show for their masquerade. And then I have to and then after that I'm going to BronyCon. So I'm not making any decisions until after BronyCon. And they were like a week apart.
Right.
So like I'm not, I'm literally not making any decisions until after BronyCon. And even then I'm probably not going to make a decision on it. So, okay. And so she came back and prodded me about once a week until San Diego Comic-Con. And then I didn't hear from her for almost a week. And right after BronyCon, like literally a few days after BronyCon, I get this message saying, I see that you're a bookkeeper at a small business. Would you be interested in coming in and monitoring the finances for the con? No, not really. This is my day job. I don't really want to bring my day job into my fandom.
Right.
Oh, okay. And I'm not making any decisions right now anyway about whether or not to help you. Okay. And like again, the next week, the same conversation. Like it was like every other day. And finally, I got tired of being badgered, and I said, "Fine, I'll help you. I'll keep an eye on the finances. but there's 3 things that have to be the case. I have to be in every single conversation about every aspect of the convention because small decisions can have a huge impact on your finances.
Right.
My job ends day 0 of con. I want to enjoy the convention, and then after I'm done enjoying the convention, after the con, then I have 2 weeks of really hard work for the convention to do to make sure the books balance out and everyone gets paid and all this other stuff. But day 0 of the con, I'm not working. Like, I'm not working at the convention. I refuse.
Right.
And the third thing I said is I'm only doing this for 1 year, I think. And so that was the conversation. Okay, yeah, sure, fine. That's great. That's fine. Okay, so I'm your bookkeeper. That's all I'm doing. I'm just keeping the books, and I'm advising on financial stuff. First in-person meeting, and this was Sonia Lin. This is Sonia Lin Hipper, the founder of Babscon. And yes, she's known like that everywhere. So it's not like a big secret. But she sits down and she's introducing the staff she's assembled. And I did not know at the time that I was the 3rd person she'd ever hired.
Oh.
So literally I am one of the 3 founders. Like legitimately, I was the 3rd person. And she goes around. She says, "This is our vice chair. I'm the chair, and this over here, Sophie, our head of business." Which is not what a bookkeeper does.
Right. Right. Right.
To which I went, "Excuse me? What? Well, you handle money. That's kind of like business." No,
Kind of
no,
like
it's not. No, I guess. Okay, so I guess I'm the head of business then. And that was how I came to be part of the founding group of Babscon. I was kind of I was badgered into it a little bit and voluntold what my job was, and been with the con been with the con ever since. And as much as I might, harass Sonia about that, like, it honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way.
So you were sort of like forcibly let up the ladder.
She was hokey doked into the con.
Yes.
It was just a giant hokey doke. All right.
It was.
Awesome.
It was.
It's the greatest con story ever. All right. Now another polarizing question. What's the best sandwich filling?
Well, I'm a vegetarian, so my sandwich fillings are kind of limiting. But I have to say, I absolutely love a good fake ham and Swiss sandwich. I still have a soft spot for ham and cheese, and that's the closest thing I can get to a nice grilled ham and Swiss. So with a little bit of provolone, just the right kind of mustard and the right kind of mayo. Oh, so good.
Yeah, if you need mayo, you can talk to Pencil. She has plenty.
Have you ever tried the vegetarian bacon?
I have. There's 3 different types. The Earth Life one is the one that I prefer. The Morningstar stuff is fine. The Morningstar stuff works really well if you microwave it, but the Earth Song stuff actually has better spice mix and a better flavor to it.
Yeah, they're one of those I was eating for a while. I don't remember which one, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the Morningstar stuff. When it's all cooked up, tastes like Bacos. You put on a salad. Like, it's okay. It's not great, but the Earth Song stuff is absolutely amazing. And I just came across another company that does Applewood smoked maple fake bacon.
Oh god, that actually sounds kind of good.
But they want, like, they're not local to where I'm at, and they want $20 to ship some to me. So I'm like, thanks,
Huh?
but no. that's yeah.
All right. And in that case, we'll segue into, are you a cat or a dog person?
That's kind of a trick question. I was a dog groomer for many, many years, so I'd have to say that I'm actually, I'm actually a dog person more than a cat person. But I've kept lizards, so for me, it's like, I like all animals. I like animals better than people for the most part.
Finally, someone of culture.
Yeah, I mean they won't screw me over.
So your first Sona was a dog, I'm assuming.
Actually, a fox.
But you got run over.
Well, yeah. Roadkill and foxes are furry condoms, and yeah. Laugh it up, Fuzzball.
So,
Excuse me, Don Giovanni, but your lizard seems limp.
Unfortunately, it's past that rigor mortis stage.
Jesus. All right, so.
Get to liver mortis and it'll be a chameleon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, moving on.
I don't think there's enough alcohol in you guys yet to fully appreciate all of this. So, I'm just going to say Babscon again, just to get you all to drink.
Yeah, I was about to do the same thing. Hey, everyone, Babscon. Drink.
Hey, thinking of Babscon, didn't someone make a special code specifically for you guys that you guys should probably announce?
Oh,
For Babscon?
Yes. In that case, we will stop it right there to do the usual killing. So, Lambie, go ahead and take it away, and don't forget to mention this special code.
I don't know about the code.
Pencil, you're not on the ball today. What is wrong with you? You're not yourself.
Yeah, I'm not a ballpoint pen, I'm a pencil. Okay. Well, I know at least half of this, so hey all you fuckers. You should donate to our Patreon so we can blow your money on hookers and Patron. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, all your money goes to a horse at the Red Wings Horse Sanctuary.
Yeah, he
so
gets all the hookers and booze.
our horse is the hookers and booze part. We were just kidding about that for once in a while. Like, we actually, our bar continues to get lower, but at this point we're like, balancing out because we help a horse survive with your donations and whatnot. His name is Big Mac, just like the one in the show. Yup. And so yeah, that's what we do. And Milk will probably tell you about the code since I don't know.
Oh God.
You motherfucker.
Who
All
has
right.
the initiative launch code?
So Babscon was very generous to essentially in our name create a code with the same damn name. Yeah, that's right. It's just Barcast. You motherfuckers better show up to Babscon and you use that code, and you will get a discount on the registration. Go do it right now.
How much of a discount, Sophie?
It's 10%.
10%.
10%, and I believe the 3-day registration.
Yeah, off of any membership, I believe.
So, it's off of any tier. Shit.
So the more you spend, the bigger savings it is.
Indeed. So go earn 10% off and come meet all your people.
By the way, Pencil, that is the best song I think we'll ever hear from you.
Oh, gee. I'm flattered.
Actual Pencil's gonna kill you, Enigma. You know that.
Yeah, especially seeing as how well she did for Bill Newton.
Oh man, that's the one I listened to before this.
I'm sure
awesome.
Pencil has a whole laundry list of reasons to kill me for.
It just keeps getting longer.
And I've got 3 more for her so far. But I'll knock one off because of the compliment.
Oh, hey, Enigma, just remember, you're going to be sleeping in a room with all of us. You're going to get fucked up.
But no one wants to stain the wall with blood. That's like...
I never said we were going to paint the walls with his blood, but we are going to humiliate him.
Let's get back to the topic on it. Let's get back to our guest.
Indeed. I think that's enough.
Blood is a fetish.
I think that's enough shilling for one day. Then moving on to the rest of Alex. Shut up, Enigma. Moving on to the rest of Alex's questions. Also, do you happen to like Capper?
Capper?
From
I know
the MLP movie.
He's an escapee from a Don Bluth film.
What?
Like that's legit. Like he is an escapee from a Don Bluth film. And so we talk about this. Like there are characters in the MLP movie that are clearly escapees from other other companies' movie series. So like Capper is clearly from a Don Bluth movie. Like that's perfect fit for a Don Bluth movie. The villain is the Storm King is an escapee from a Disney film.
Certainly.
Like we're pretty sure about that.
Although more entertaining than Disney villains, let me tell you.
Oh yes,
He's
yes.
straight Hades.
Yeah, he's basically straight Hades.
Straight.
Implying that the
Straight-
original was gay.
Implying that Hades was gay. Yeah, well, I don't know. When you're a god, it doesn't really matter.
Hey, Hades was flaming.
Yes,
God.
yes.
You son of a bitch.
I'll give you that one, Enigma.
Well, hey, I mean, Pegasus made him straight. He blew it out, didn't he?
If we're talking about blowing, I'm not sure how straight he is.
No, it just makes him into bestiality.
Pegasus was a girl? That was a boy.
Boy.
I don't think the fact that the gender doesn't make it bestiality. Enigma,
Gender
I'm
don't
going
enter
to...
into it. You don't get away with it. You can't upgrade the crime from bestiality to just gay. Like that's not how it works. Dude, you fucked a dog. What was it? Was it a dude dog?
Was it a
dude?
boy or a
Was it a boy? Oh, that's not
matters.
that's not bestiality. That's just gay.
This matters, guys! Oh, Enigma.
It's because Ravage said that Pegasus made him straight, so that's made me think that Pegasus was a girl.
No, you took two separate things and put them together. And that now it's just wrong. Okay?
Yeah, it's wrong
go
on
back
many,
to
many
your
levels.
All right, guys. Last note here is that if you engage in bestiality, it's only gay if the gender is male. So
I actually thought it was only gay if the balls touch.
Yeah.
that too.
Our
got me
guest,
there.
our guest is on top of this.
And of course,
That's what she said.
or do you mean duct tape?
Oh, God.
Quack quack.
No, they use the gorilla tape.
All right, moving on. So Alex also has a really tough tongue twister. Say Babscon as many times as you can in 30 seconds, you cheeky fuck.
You know, if I did that, everyone would die of.
Indeed, but here's another Babscon for the road.
Yes,
So-
gotta do another one. Everyone, you better come and attend Babscon.
All right, so
Babscon needs a theme.
Babscon has a theme. That's what my department does.
I mean, theme song.
We have one of those too.
Oh, God, I haven't heard it.
Do you know
haven't
it?
heard-
I
Oh,
don't.
I have to fight. It's a stupid, catchy thing. Babscon.
what is it like?
Hold on.
Is it like Feliz Navidad but like better?
Oh my God! No, it's called
Yeah.
Babscon: The Experience, and it was done for our first year. And it is so here. Where do you want me to put this? I have a link
In the behind the counter.
behind the.
In the behind. You put
In
it
the behind. I'll put it in the rear. There you go. There it is.
Oh dear.
There it is.
Oh
It's,
boy.
Yeah.
You might want to.
It
At
depends
least
on-
for at least the first couple seconds.
It's only like 2 minutes long, but
Oh, it steals the Bab seed thing.
yes,
Great.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. So it is. Oh, okay. So it is to Babseed. Okay, that makes sense.
I thought it was just Bay Area. I didn't think it was actually Babs, the character.
Who is B area?
The
Bay Area.
The
Damn
Bay
it,
Area.
God damn it, fucking pencil. Get your.
Oh god, I am making her look so stupid.
Pencil, you should know better than anyone.
I'm not gonna take jack shit from you, Enigma.
I thought that's all you took from Enigma.
Ooh, damn, pencil. What are you gonna say to that?
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm gonna say I'm just a disappointment. We need to move on to the next question.
Sounds like a very pencil thing to say.
All right. And in that case, we have exactly one question from Vylot. So, pencil, you gotta do the jingle.
It's time for questions from Viola!
You have outdone yourself.
God, I'm a fire boy.
Pencil, you have outdone yourself.
I think Pencil will faint from laughing at that when she watches that. Oh god,
We just tell you.
that helped expunge all the shit in my lungs right now. Oh god.
We aimed.
Chorus in middle school, it was a lifesaver.
Oh my god. And Vylon's only question, surprisingly, is how was your day today?
Actually, pretty good. I spent most of it sleeping.
Sounds like an amazing day to me.
That is an absolutely amazing day.
I wish.
Especially for a college student.
I'll say. All right.
And that
Wow.
was it from Vylon!
Someone needs to take this sound sample.
Make it a text tone on your phone. All right. So, Rundown Jet now asks, that Canadian guy here with the usual fare for our guest this week. 1, what is the favorite meme of 2018 so far?
I would have to say it's Do You Know the Way?
Oh.
Simply because it shows up everywhere, which popular memes do, but also because I find it is the right kind of meme you can just drop into a conversation, and you can't do that with all memes. So to a meme that is universally universally accepted or universally seen,
Applicable.
Applicable would be a good term. Yeah. Do you know the way? I've even heard people that don't do memes use that and know exactly what it means. Memes exactly what it means.
Are you aware of the mutation of that meme though that happened recently?
No, I'm not.
Wakandan knuckles.
Oh Jesus!
Oh God!
I still prefer the Russian Knuckles theme, which I posted in the chat.
I will have to look
I
at
gotta
it.
see this.
It is 30 seconds long.
Oh, Scrungus Fungus is the best. I love that guy.
Play it, motherfucker. It's 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're good on time.
My name is that.
Oh my god.
You never saw this?
I refuse to look.
Shit's fucking insane.
No, I actually like this meme. I like this meme now.
The Soviet anthem kills me every single time. All right, so DeWay is currently the best meme thus far 2018. Someone changed that. It could have been Tide Pods. Yeah, there we go.
Tide Pods are up there too. The Tide Pods, like, I don't know. I find memes that reference health decisions that could kill people to not be as funny.
I don't know. I mean, it's the only meme
It's culling the population.
That's cleansing the degenerates.
That is true.
It's only a wonder Enigma hasn't taken one yet.
Hey, have you guys tried the new flavor of Tide Pods, steamed ham flavor?
Oh, you're bad. Have you tried the new flavor of Oreos, Tide Pods flavor?
Oh God, I saw those.
Someone at FurCon, one of the room parties at FurCon had a drink called the Tide Pod drink.
Oh God.
Oh Jesus! I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually a bar drink made out of that. With that,
It was a mixed drink. I had
Okay.
people bring them into the Babscon room party, and they looked not very appetizing, but apparently they were very popular. So
amazing. All right. So number 2, snacks or food stuff that you'd like, which others may find unappealing or disgusting. For example, pineapple pizza.
Actually, pineapple pizza is not a bad one I can put on that list. I
You
happen to
son
like...
of a bitch.
No, I'm not a son of anything. Thank you.
Got him!
Got me.
I am happy. I'm happy to have pineapple on my pizza. I just can't have the ham that would normally go with it because vegetarian. But yeah, I like I've had a Thai pizza which had mini corns on it. That was pretty tasty too.
That must be incredible.
That was incredible. I had it while I was in Bangkok years ago. I wanted a taste of home, and I was desperate. And there was a Pizza Hut, and I was thinking, oh my god, I could order a pizza and I could get a 2-liter of Pepsi. And I ordered a vegetarian pizza because that was about all I could make out from because my Thai is not very good. That was about all I could make out. Like this looks like it's all vegetarian, so like I'll order that. And then the pizza showed up with my 2-liter of thing, and I opened it up, and I'm like, this is not a pizza. Like it's pizza shaped. It's pizza shaped, but the toppings were all vegetarian, but they were not pizza toppings like I would think of them. And so I tried it, and it was like, oh, this is okay. It's edible, it's good, but it's not a taste of home like I want. So at least I got the Pepsi, and I opened up the Pepsi, and it did not taste like Pepsi in the U.S.
Tastes like fucking tastes like dang.
Well, no, it tasted like Pepsi, but it was pure sugar Pepsi and not. Not
so it's
Pepsi.
like good Pepsi then.
It was good Pepsi, but it wasn't the Pepsi from home, which is what I wanted because I was homesick at the time.
Oh God, I don't want this natural bullshit. Give me the chemicals.
Sophie, you were reminding me of this incident where Milk said he was going to send me a pizza, and he sent me a damn Mexican pizza, and I felt betrayed.
At least
I've never seen Enigma personally attacked in my life.
Like, do you know what a Mexican pizza is?
Which kind?
It looks like a pizza, but once you take a bite, you realize that there's no tomato sauce underneath that cheese. Instead, it's refried bean.
Oh, yeah, and usually the crust is crisped. Like if they cook it right, it's like a crispy crust.
Fucking, it's like comes with a dead body too.
There was a pizza place local to us that used to do a thing called South of the Border, which they didn't use. They used spicy nacho cheese for the cheese topping. They used salsa for the sauce, and then it was like extra spicy sausage and a bunch of other stuff. So it was like super spicy and jalapenos. And locally, that was what I thought what Mexican pizza was for the longest time. And then Taco Bell did Mexican pizzas for a while, and it wasn't really a true Mexican pizza, but it was closer. So,
Anyway. In that case, number 3, another polarizing question, which I'm sure Pencil will have something very emotional to say about this. Why is bagged milk the best milk?
I'm not sure how to respond to that because I've had milk where the cream floats to the top like glass bottle, like high grade milk, and that's better than that milk than bagged milk. I've also
if I may interject.
Sure.
Bagged milk is not milk at all. It is the absolute worst. If your milk comes from a bag, you're doing something wrong as a sovereign nation.
Okay, so there's
I just want to get this out of the way. It's not real milk. I don't care how you're giving it to me. And if it comes in a bag, I don't want it. Comes from a breast, great. Comes from a carton, even better. But like if it comes from a bag, I'm just not going to drink that shit. Because so I work fast food, and we have to pour bags of milk into the what's it called?
The broken ice cream machine?
The broken ice cream machine, yeah, basically. Oh my god, do you know how it is to pour a bag of milk? Imagine having to pour a cereal and you have to grip one edge, cut with scissors, and then you just know. Or, what is it, a screwy top over in Canada? Everything's screwy there. So basically, just unscrew, and you're holding just a giant thing of milk. Like, sloshing about and everything as you pour it. It's disgusting. Like,
So...
bagged milk is absolutely atrocious.
Canada as a nation is lost. You guys fought at Passchendaele for nothing.
So Pencil.
Yes.
Would you drink your milk if it came out of a dragon's tit?
Oh, fuck's sake.
In spite of you, no. In spite of you, no.
So there is one type of milk that's worse than bagged milk.
Oh.
Skim milk.
Powdered milk.
Oh
Ugh,
God,
yeah.
tell me about it.
Well, we could powder you and then reconstitute you someplace else.
We're in diaper fetish territory, so I think we need to move on.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, so a little more social question. What's your favorite band in said music genre?
Oh, okay. Well, I'd have to say probably either rock or metal would be my two favorites. I'm very much
Nice.
I'm very much a rocker. I was learning to play the guitar actually specifically so I could play rock music. And as far as my favorite band goes, it's a toss up between old school Metallica and Linkin Park actually.
Nice.
Priest would love you.
He would.
He really would.
Huge fan of both of those. I like Metallica does some amazing stuff when they do their slow ballads, and Linkin Park just like their music is very social. Like they're very much or they used to be. I don't know if they're still together.
Did you
but they're
see?
They're still together. Yeah.
okay.
Did you see the Diamond Tiara crossed with Linkin Park?
I
Oh
think
my
so,
God.
probably.
Oh God, it was so good. If you haven't seen it, you need to go look at it. It's the song "Numb," right?
Oh dear.
I think.
Probably that sounds right. I think I have seen it.
Yeah. Oh man, it is so good, and I'm surprised at how well it matches up together.
Yeah. I'll have to look it up again.
Which
Yeah.
Diamond Tiara song?
Would you Pony I Wanna Be?
Oh, that one. That was actually pretty good. That was a good episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
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 Oh God.
Don't ruin
All
your
right,
break.
we should probably stop with the mating calls.
All right, so
No, we're not doing even human mating calls because human mating calls all start with "Hey, baby."
hey girl, want some fuck?
Hey,
Yes.
Hey, girl, want me to slap a dog?
My Uvenschlagen's just that long.
Oh God.
Hold my cider.
Those were all very excellent. All right, so to Mayor, and quoting your favorite pony being Rainbow Dash. Nice, she says. Nice try, Rainbow Dash. Where's the real dopey on a Katan Harbinger?
Well, Harbinger was the thing that tried to kill Shepard, so
Assuming direct control.
assuming direct control. Someone knows my one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I
Not
love
my-
Mass Effect.
I'm
Mass Effect.
actually right in the middle of getting to Harbinger.
The first two are amazing. This third one was amazing up until the last 10 minutes. What's a real dopey on a cat and Harbinger? I don't know, actually. I will have to say, I honestly don't know. I will have to do more research and assume some direct control.
Wait, you don't like the last 10 minutes of Mass Effect 3? Are you saying you don't like the final boss, Marauder Shields?
No, I don't like the final boss, Starchild.
He's not a boss, though. You don't actually fight him.
That's true. But I like I said, the last 10 minutes of it, I had no problems with the combat and the fights and whatnot, but that whole story twist thing at the end was just so poorly done. It could have been done so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what annoyed me most is that they went on to create a terrible Mass Effect 3, or was it, and then
Andromeda.
or was Andromeda,
Andromeda.
and instead they could have made freaking Knights of the Old Republic 3.
They could have, and Andromeda could have been a lot better. Like, I understand what they were trying to do, and there were things about Andromeda I really, really liked, but it's like they had all these ideas and they didn't spend enough time or attention on any one of them.
Right.
So there wasn't enough depth. It was basically just go and jump through the hoops and do the story. And it wasn't like there's this whole thing about getting the arc reactivated and all that other stuff that you could have done a lot more with. Or building up your relationships with other, like you could have done an entire diplomatic thing where you are out having to actually sit in and make diplomatic decisions and actually do like this. You could have done so much more with the new setting, and I just felt that it was a poor execution of a great idea.
Well, do you know why it failed?
That it was a poor execution of a great idea, and that people were pissed off about Mass Effect 3.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Well, what the problem was is that they gave it to a DLC dev team rather than an actual game creation dev team.
Yeah. Yes, that would also do it.
All I gotta say about Andromeda is, hey, Vetra, show me them courage.
What?
Birds and bugs
Enigma,
don't have
stop
tits.
talking.
Bugs don't have tits.
She's not a bug.
Why does everything have tits to you?
Because he's a filthy fucking closet furry. That's
you guys
why.
You guys saw the new Star Wars, right? Luke Skywalker had the right idea.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yes.
God damn it! Why would you reference the worst Star Wars movie in history?
No. Sorry, The Phantom Menace is still worse by far.
I don't know. I hated.
The prequels were better. The prequels were better.
That particular film did some important things that had to happen, and there wasn't a lot they could have done to make those things happen and still have a decent film. So I'm willing to give them a pass.
Them bass nass titties.
But anyway, there were issues with that film, but the issues were not as big as letting George Lucas create the prequels.
All right. So moving on to questions from Hawthorne Bunny, who asks, what is one of your biggest pet peeves about convention staffing?
I could go on for a long time about this, actually. A con chair that gets drunk during the course of the convention. That's
Certainly.
one of my big ones. I've experience with that. But I'd have to say my biggest pet peeve is folks coming in to do a job, and you say, this is the job, this is what you need to do. And then they go and they decide they don't want to do the job, or they drag their feet at doing the job, or they commit to doing they're committed to doing the con. They're like, I'm going to be con staff, and then they don't actually want to do work. They just want what few perks we get as con staff. Like, that makes no sense to me. If you're going to do a job, you're going to agree to go and do a job, like, do the fucking job. The sooner you do the job, the sooner it's done, and then you can refine whatever it is that you did to make it good for the attendees. Like, don't waste the con's time. Don't waste other staffers' time having to clean up after you. Like, just do the fucking job and do it right the first time. And if you don't know how to do the job right the first time, ask somebody, because there are people on con staff that have been doing this probably a lot longer than, in some cases, than some staff have been alive. In the case of a few folks we have working for us. So it's like, don't commit and then just think that it's going to be a cakewalk. It's a job. It is actually a job, and it's a job that you have to have passion for. Otherwise, just don't do it. I mean, it just creates more work for everybody else, and that happens with Babscon every year internally. Don't get me wrong, I love my con. I love staffing my con. You can pry my con from my cold, dead hands. Babscon is amazing, and everyone gets to drink twice because of that. But that being said, every year we get at least one person on staff that will commit to doing something, and then it's like, then they don't follow through every year, and it always creates problems. So that's my pet peeve. Don't commit to something and then not do it.
Got it. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Is responsible for those pets.
God, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. We had an adoption thing the first year we had Babscon. We had dogs from the SPCA the first year for adoption. That was fun.
Oh.
Did the dogs get drunk too?
No, because alcohol is bad for dogs.
So is chocolate.
That's also true.
That
Chocolate is also bad for dogs.
But
It's the caffeine specifically in the chocolate. They make dog-safe chocolate.
Heroin is also bad for dogs.
Many things are bad for dogs.
heroin's bad for a lot of people, Enigma.
He lives in Compton. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't make it better.
That just makes it more common.
Yeah, but I mean, you take away the heroin, and then all the junkies start freaking out.
Well, then you
Right.
have,
Now their
and then
lifeblood is gone.
well, and then you know what you have, right? You have the first version of the Purge.
Oh my god, and it's in
Ah.
Compton too. Everyone's already armed.
I wonder if in the Purge they ever went into Compton, because I don't think anyone wants Compton.
I don't know. They did 3 of those movies, I think.
they
There's
did.
all 3 of them are set in different parts of the U.S. So
The only thing scary about the Purge was that there were 3 of them.
I don't know.
All right.
It's an interesting concept for
It is.
execution. But anyway,
Indeed. All right, number 2. And with the joke question, he asks, I heard that you're a mixologist. What genres of
music are my
Yeah.
favorite. I like my beats. I have to say, if I'm doing a rave, it's got to be industrial or house or EDM. But no, this was a conversation we actually had in the chat there.
Yep, I
in
see-
the-
I
in the
see it right
Blitzboard.
here.
Make a dumb joke by disc jockeying with the question as it still stands. I don't know. I like most musics, most rave or dance music. I was used to do ballroom dancing, so classical dancing, and good 4/4 time waltz is always nice. But I was always a fan of the foxtrot. But that being said, for dance music, I don't know. I like anything you can move to, really.
All right, sweet. Number 3, he asks, what cocktail do you find the most difficult to get right?
So I have a recipe for a 7-layer rainbow dash.
Oh, gosh.
And it takes about 20 minutes to pour, between 10 and 20 minutes to pour, because you have to pour everything slow and right and careful. And but anyway, it's kind of a time-consuming thing to pour, and it's difficult to get right because if you pour too fast, the layers mix, and then you end up with a poor drink. So
Right. Okay. He then goes on to ask, did Brina Drummond say, okay, I'll come to your convention, but only if you
name it after me. No, actually, we came up with the name before we even approached Brenna to attend to our con. We actually approached Andrew. We had Andrea Lipman signed before we even officially were formed as a company. Interestingly enough, she was willing to come down to San Francisco and hang out and be a good sport and support a new con. So, but that was long before we ever contacted Brenna.
All right. Then he goes on to ask, what's your favorite non-mainstreams? No, Doctor Who.
Mainstream sci-fi. Well, I just finished watching Altered Carbon, which has to be, it's certainly up there. I'm also a brown coat, that is to say a fan of Firefly and Serenity. Both of those I think qualify as non-mainstream. So those would probably be my 2 current favorites.
Sweet.
With probably Black Mirror being a good third.
Ooh, I'll give you Black Mirror. Black Mirror is great. All right. So, what's your favorite artist, music, cinematography, handwriting?
Okay, so music, we already covered that earlier.
Mhm.
We can keep recovering that. Cinematography, that's a tough one. What's good cinematography? I have to say I like the work done on the original Blade Runner as far as cinematography goes. Like that's just some beautiful work. The pacing is really slow, unfortunately, but that kind of cinematography is eye-catching and gives a good scope of the world, and that's probably amongst my favorite. Painting, I have to say I'm more of a fan of Van Gogh rather than more modern painters. I'm not a huge fan of abstract modern art, which is like a really big thing. I prefer my classicals and my Renaissance artists. My favorite fart is probably the silent but deadly. And as far as writing goes, I'm a fan of a writer called Alice Borchardt, who she's unfortunately passed away, but she was a contemporary of Anne Rice. She only started writing books much later in life. So she only wrote like 5 or 6 books, starting with the first book, which was called The Silver Wolf.
I've heard of that one.
It's actually really good.
Sweet. Alrighty. He then goes on to ask, why did the chicken go across the street?
To get to Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is amazing. I don't blame him.
I work there. Hey.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Chick-fil-A kicks ass, though. They have some damn good nuggies.
Everything.
Them waffle fries, though.
Yeah.
Waffle fries are always good.
Yes, I agree. Now, what is the most unimportant thing you didn't achieve?
The most unimportant thing I didn't achieve. That's a tough one. What didn't I achieve that I set my sights on? Probably, I'd have to say the full. No, because that's would kind of change the perspective of the con. That's a tough one. Probably some of the artwork that I didn't finish off from years and years and years ago. I have numerous works in progress that I've never finished, and those are probably not very important, and I didn't achieve them.
Okay. And as I'm going down through these questions, I think they're purposefully getting much more intelligible in it. So let's continue. So, what is your favorite comic boat?
My favorite comic boat. Oh, I don't. Comic boat is in funny, or comic boat is in comics. That's a. Probably comic boat. I don't read a lot of comics, and I don't watch a lot of things with boats in them.
Fair enough. Do you know Rat Queen's form Image Comics? What? What?
I know Image Comics, but yes, I'm just gonna say yes.
Good answer.
What is your most annoying failing?
Okay, whoever wrote this was drinking something. I'm just gonna say, like, that's what it looks like to me. But my most annoying failing would have to probably be the fact that I talk too much. I tend to be very verbose.
Yeah, fair enough. Alrighty, I'm not asking that question. Let's see. How many scissors do you needle?
How many scissors do I needle? 3. One to work on dog grooming with, one to cut fabric with, and one to cut people with. I mean,
Hell yeah.
I like that last one.
I do too. Alright, Watt. W-A-T-T, Watt is your favorite color.
I'd have to say it's probably going to be green.
Alright, he then goes to ask, well, how does red sound?
Red sounds noisy and loud and very discordant.
For some reason, red sounds a lot like that national anthem from the Soviet Union.
Red sounds a lot like someone slamming their hands on a keyboard with no tone, just bam, 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 bam.
Yes. What is your favorite movie quote?
Perfection is a road, not a destination.
Yes. Oh god, what the fuck is... Okay. How much would you want for a Nietzsche because English is too hard? Any flour is nice?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. Van de Moose asks, Jesus Christ, what do you think? Could a thin pony attend Babscon?
Certainly, as long as Thin Pony wasn't harassing the attendees.
Oh,
I think he meant Thing Pony.
I think you're the first guest to ever know right off the back who Thing Pony is.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the thing.
The greatest thing ever.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
what is the best house in Small Horse Town?
I'd have to say Sugar Cube Corner because I have a weakness for sweets.
Are you saying that their house is actually made out of candy?
I would have to say that if you can live above it, it qualifies as a house, and I would go downstairs and get baked goods all the time.
If it was made out of candy, can you imagine the flies that shit would attract consistently?
That's
Every
what
time it
magic-
rains.
That's what magic's for.
Jesus. Yeah, it's magic. Thank God explains shit. All right. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was
No,
going to say
you go.
magic in Equestria has laws and rules that it follows, so that may not necessarily work. But
Is there actually like an established law book?
there is not an established law book, but if you watch the series with an eye towards it, you can actually figure out what the rough guidelines and laws and things they follow. So
We lost pencil.
no, we lost pencil. It's horrible.
He's
But Flame, one of the rules about the magic in the universe is that pony transmutation is taboo.
I suppose.
No one got that. No one got the reference. I
Oh,
just
we
thought
get
that
the
one.
reference. We're just not.
Exactly. Fucker.
Here's
All
your
right.
reference. Edward.
What the
What?
was that?
Edward.
Oh, I think you mean. Tell me about the rabbits, George. All right. If mimics could become anything, is everything a mimic?
Well, there's this old story about coat hangers taking over the world.
Oh god, my mind went to a weird place when you started with coat hangers. All right, go on.
It's a story told by an old comedian by the name of Dave Allen, and he used to go on about how coat hangers were taking over the world slowly. I mean, just think about it. There are more coat hangers now than there ever have been before, and that just means that they are multiplying faster to take over the world. But he had this whole comedy routine. So if mimics could become anything, is everything a mimic? Everything is potentially a mimic. It's like quantum mechanics. Everything is potentially possible. Everything could happen. So everything could be a mimic. We won't know. And how would you know? If you were a mimic, would you actually know?
Fuck.
I mean,
what if we're all mimics? Then containers back then used to look like humans.
that's true. Well, then you notice that paper clips, and then there's fewer paper clips, but then there's more bicycles, and then there's fewer bicycles, but more something else. And yeah, that was all part of Dave Allen's shtick about coat hangers.
Fucking coat hangers, man.
Yo.
All right. You have been trapped by a mimic. With what kind of illusion did it catch you?
I can think of two that would work. It would either have to use my boyfriend in some way, or have to give me. I would have to say the portal to Equestria trap would probably work on me too, just because I'd be way too curious to not.
Oh, so you go to touch and be like, psych! And then. All right. Ratchet Starfall then goes to ask, time for some horror stuff. What is your favorite horror flick?
Alien.
Ooh,
Nice.
classic.
Yes, very classic.
All right. What is the scariest or creepiest thing you've actually seen, either online or...
Okay. NRL. That is probably would be something I've seen NRL, but I probably shouldn't discuss it on the Barcast. So we'll go to the scariest, creepiest thing I've seen online, which would be
Yeah, if it was illegal, don't discuss it.
yeah. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this without discussing politics.
Okay, then. Fair enough. Then that's fine. All right, then online works. That's fine.
Well, no, because that would online also some of the crazy, creepy ass shit that's going on is highly political too.
Oh, okay.
I'm a pretty real person. I keep an eye on the real world pretty thoroughly, and there's a lot of creepy stuff going on politically, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Like and I've seen some creepy illegal stuff in the real world, and yeah, it's world's not a nice place in many cases. So not in every case, but especially with those, at least at the moment.
When did we all get renamed to pencils? Is this the
God
pencil
damn.
box? Is it?
This is the pencil box. You guys are all pencils now. Congratulations. We do not have a pencil number one.
She is not with us currently.
Oh,
Yo,
OG's
I-
asleep and sick.
I haven't been sharpened, so therefore I am the longest pencil.
you are the dullest pencil. You mean?
Oh.
Yeah, because if you've never been sharpened, you don't have a tip. Ooh.
That's all
My
he's
tip
got
is
is a
boring.
tip.
Oh god. All right, so
His tip is his base.
what's your favorite horror story? So creepypasta, anything, really doesn't matter.
My favorite horror story, I probably would have. I kind of have to. I like the concept of the whole Slender Man creepypasta stuff that went on, especially prior to them deciding to make a movie. The movie looks interesting too, but that whole concept is kind of socially or crowdsourced horror movie or horror storytelling. Because that allows the group mind to create something that is truly terrifying for all concerned, and that's always interesting stuff to watch and see. But as far as my favorite horror story, if we're going to do favorite horror story that I can talk about that's a movie, I'd have to say Event Horizon. It's one of the only horror movies, a sci-fi horror movie, that actually gets under my skin. Started off as a haunted house movie, but the director wanted to do a sci-fi thing, so they literally during pre-production took the script and turned it into a sci-fi script. But it's one of the few films that actually gets under my skin.
These darn scientists always accidentally opening up portals to hell.
I know, right? It was really the concept of the ship being able to get inside your head and use your worst fears against you that got underneath my skin. But
Right. No. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like the whole like jump scare horror movies. Actually, like this that kind of makes you think.
yeah,
Because if it makes you think consistently about it, I think that's actually pretty scary.
yeah, same.
Because then you lose sleep over it and things like that.
Yeah, well,
So.
the Blair Witch, the Blair Witch film when it first came out also kind of got under my skin, but it doesn't hold up well to repeated viewings. So it's not my favorite, but it's certainly one that did have an impact on me. That it was one of the first of its kind, so it was kind of it was unusual. But anyway.
Right. All right. And then next is what's your favorite scary game?
The original Dead Space.
Ooh.
Or maybe
nice.
was one of my favorites. It was the right combination of psychological horror with that first-person perspective and just not knowing what was. The environment was very creepy. Everything was really set together. I do have I actually have two games that are tied for that, and Dead Space is the first one. But Alien Isolation, I have not been able to play through it. It is creepy and scary enough that I cannot get through it. Once you first encounter the alien in it, I cannot get any. I can't play it because the situations it lays out are just too creepy, for lack of a better term.
Too real.
It's a very well designed game, and apparently there is a VR version of it too, which is all done.
Oh God.
I wouldn't. It's one of these days maybe I'll get either drunk enough or screw my courage to the sticking place, so to speak, enough that I'll be able to play through it. But it is if you guys want a truly horrifying and difficult game to play, Alien Isolation, because the alien fucking learns from your tactics on how you avoid it. Yeah, it's a really creepy game. Very well done.
Jesus. Alrighty, and I think we already covered the favorite creepypasta. What about a favorite horror fic, if there's one there?
Well, like I said, my favorite horror fic would be Alien. But Event Horizon's up there too.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen Event Horizon. I'm kind of looking at its summary, and it's just like, wow, this actually looks pretty damn good.
It has Morpheus in it.
Yeah, here's the other thing about that film. It's done by the same guy that went on and did Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
So the guy
Which
who did
Resident Evil?
all of them.
Oh.
The movies. He's like, that was when he was still a good director, when he did Event Horizon.
Alrighty, sweet. So, and then he goes on to say, hopefully you've had fun, Quinn quotes, so far.
Oh, yeah, I have. I do. I like I said, I like discussing this stuff. It's fun stuff.
So, Phantom Knight asks, do you have a favorite and least favorite fanfic?
Okay, my favorite fanfic would probably be anything Fallout Equestria. I think mixing
Yes.
Right.
those two genres, I think mixing My Little Pony and Fallout is a really good, like it creates this interesting balance of opposites, because you have ponies that are usually highly optimistic and bouncy and whatever, and then you have this really dark, really dark setting, and you mix the two, and you have this nice kind of balance of opposites that goes on between the two. As far as go ahead.
It's like Conker's Bad Fur Day, but took itself seriously.
Yeah, and I don't mind. You can mix serious. You can mix that and keep it serious. And
I got one. Fallout is magic. Got it.
Fallout is magic.
Yeah. It's
Friendship.
stupid, but it just kind of came to mind.
Friendship never changes.
God damn it! You gotta say it with like a real. You gotta say it with like a pony voice. Friendship never changes.
No, you gotta say it like you're narrating the beginning of a Fallout game.
Like
Friendship never
It never
changes.
changes.
Like
yeah.
Ron Perlman.
who's narrated the beginning of all Fallout games?
Yeah.
Much to my surprise.
So should we just find him in a con and say "Friendship never changes" in his voice?
No. What you do is you write a you write one of those cold read scripts that's like an intro to a Fallout Equestria game, and then you have him read it. Kind of like they did with GLaDOS's letter to Celestia,
Oh God.
which was amazing. They caught the actress at a con, she read it, and then they took the recording of it back and gave it GLaDOS reverb. But yeah, that kind of stuff is fun.
All right, sweet. Well, obviously my favorite fic is Shadowblade. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but
Oh, does
It
Sophie
is the
not
cream
know about
de
the?
la cream.
Does Sophie not know the tragedy of Shadowblade the Wise?
tragedy of Darth Shadowblade. The God.
No, I don't, but I probably feel like I maybe should.
No, it is a we honestly can't. It is a fic, the Tale of Shadowblade, that we honestly can't tell if the guy was trolling or not. It seems serious enough where it could actually be serious. It seems trolly enough where it could actually be trolly, but it is the greatest shit we've ever read. It belongs in a museum right next to the Mona Lisa.
It has Pencil's favorite quote in is quote is she was as tight as a jar of pickles.
Okay. I'm not sure. Okay.
It's a fucking weird.
That sounds like one of those things that you want to get together at like midnight, like they do the readings of the Eye.
That's exactly what we did.
That would be fun.
It is amazing. And then, pencil number 1 has asked, if you could punch anyone in the face, living or dead, who would you punch?
Hitler.
All right, sweet. Is running a con like herding cats, or are the cats at least easier to toss out of windows?
Cats are easier to toss out of windows. The higher up you toss them, the more damage there is to the cat. So that's that. It is easier to do, but it's crueler. Running a con is like herding cats. It's like herding cats, some of whom are on catnip.
Jesus.
Yeesh.
I can't imagine like how larger cons like BronyCon and stuff handle it then.
They have to be run like a business. Like you legitimately have to run it like an actual business, which means that it's not necessarily as fun, but the end result is usually better and more polished.
So I'm guessing then if you're running the con, especially when the con's going up, can't necessarily take part in it per se, right?
I don't think I've actually attended something at Babscon as either not a panelist or I haven't just attended something at Babscon. I don't think ever. Yeah, I'm either on a panel dealing with something behind the scenes, or setting up for another event, or coordinating people, or I rarely ever get to actually just go and enjoy something at the con, which is it's fine. It's kind of how things has to be. If the con's going to run, someone's got to run it. But you know, I do get to have fun. It's just my fun is different than the fun everyone else has.
Right. Fair enough. And on that note, what would you recommend to anyone attending a convention? Like tips on how not to have a bad time?
So there's a couple of things that I typically tell folks. If you're attending a convention for the first time, always go with someone else, even if they're not necessarily a fan of the same type of con that you're going to. But if you go with someone else, you at least have someone else to talk to. Don't go drunk or stoned. And the reason for that is because your first experience attending a con should be much like your first experience doing anything else. You want to be in your right mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so you don't make mistakes or like my friends do, absolutely believe that the fursuiters were not fursuiters. And they believed that they were actually real animals and started freaking out. Because they came to the con stoned. And they had a really bad time. What would I recommend? What else? Drink lots of water.
Yes.
That's something a lot of folks forget. Drink tons of water. If you think you've consumed enough water, drink more. And generally have a good time. Don't be afraid to walk up to somebody and talk to them. Don't be afraid to strike up a conversation. This is easier at MLP cons, at brony cons, at pony cons, than it is, strangely enough, at furry cons. Like when I've approached people at furry cons, they're usually like, "Why are you talking?" Like there's this kind of standoffishness that tends to happen at a lot of other conventions. It doesn't mean that you still can't make friends that way, but you have to kind of have something in common with them when you walk up to them to talk with them. In my case, I was an artist at the time. I was doing artwork and drawing and that kind of thing. So it was easy for me to go, "Hey, that piece of artwork's pretty cool. What technique did you use?" Like that was my conversation starter. But for him, go ahead.
I mean, going back to how we said last time, how things were diverse in the furry camp and not focused, because it's focused in PonyCon, you could say, "Oh, I like that shipping too. Let's compare notes."
Or you could walk up to someone and say, "Hey, who's best pony?" and then start a riot. I mean, or start a conversation. But I mean, my point is that like you can have. You don't even have to necessarily walk up to somebody and talk to somebody about pony stuff. Like I've been at Babscon and had people walk up to me and start talking to me about things completely not pony related because I'm with the MLP Jedi troop, or I've got a long coat and they think the long coat's really cool looking, or they'll come up to me and strike up a conversation about, like, folks in the brony community are way more friendly than many other communities that I've been a part of. That most other communities I'm a part of are highly cliquish, and it's hard sometimes to strike up and get conversations and create that social kind of interaction or friendship. But with the brony community, sure, we have cliques as well. I mean, you have it happens. It's human nature. But even if you're outside of those cliques, it's easy to strike up a conversation with somebody. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different. There's a more social kind of outgoing, friendly extrovert, I think maybe is the term, kind of culture.
No, makes sense. And then Penzo goes on to ask about the special Babscon code again, so we've already covered that numerous times.
Sure, it's Barcast, all caps.
All caps, everyone. Yes. Oh, and another small question set from Utol, who asks, "How long do you ride the bike?"
When I was riding the bike on a regular basis, because I did actually bike. I used to bike everywhere. My average trip was between half an hour and 45 minutes.
Sweet.
And I do know of botflies. Looking at the next question, like I'm familiar with botflies. They're nasty things, but
botflies are absolutely terrible creatures.
They are horrible. They are absolutely horrible.
Freaking injecting their larvae into you and shit.
Yes, bad parasites.
Non-consenting larva injecting.
Yeah.
It's someone's fetish out there.
I'm sure it is. I mean, there's a fetish for just about everything.
But that doesn't mean we have to accept them.
That's correct.
Case in point, hand holding.
Really? You have a problem with hand holding?
No, not at all. Actually,
Everyone.
it's super gay though. Clearly.
Hey, everyone, look to your left. The first object you see, that's someone's fetish. Now say what that fetish is.
McDonald's cup.
A
Look to
jar
my
of
right?
candy.
To,
To your
to, is
left.
that, to
my
my
left?
left.
Um,
That's a card reader for reading memory cards.
That is someone's fetish right there.
I see an ironing board.
I see 3 cans of Mountain Dew Black Label.
I see a big jar of candy.
Well, if I look to my right, I see rain, and I guarantee you that's someone's fetish.
That is my fetish right there.
I see the control panel for the sim cockpit I'm sitting in. If I look to my right.
Milk? What's people's fetish?
Something. How about a can of pop? We'll go with that.
I already claimed that one.
Shit.
To my,
Mountain Dew Black Label. Jesus.
to my right is a picture of my father, Enigma.
I'm your father? I'm your father?
Enigma, do you have a picture of your father anywhere?
I do, actually.
You do?
Do you really?
I do. There's a picture of me holding it. I was gonna show it to you folks.
Just
going,
like
"Look at
he
this
was
stuff.
supposed to do you.
Look at this bag."
Oh, God damn it, Enigma.
I am so high.
All right. And finally, Hetty says, "Hi, Doodle. Do you regret signing Fiora to the Babscon staff yet?"
No, and there's a story there. There's a story there how Fee came. You guys had her. I don't know if she told you her story of how she joined the herd or not. But she came to Babscon without even knowing what it was the first year because she was doing it as a favor for one of her listeners, and now she's like writing panels and being a content creator for the community. It's insane.
Funny how life works that way.
Well, I mean it's like, go ahead.
She crashed our panel. I didn't even know who that was. I was like, "Who is this? Why
Yeah.
are they belittling me?"
Why they? Well, because she belittles. Well, it's Queen Quake. She belittles everybody. But yeah, it's kind of like when somebody makes you a bet that you can't hate a series after the first 6 episodes. You know, I mean, you just don't know where it's going to lead you.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Funny how nature works like that.
Yeah, nature does work that way.
You're
Indeed.
saying My Little Pony is a force of nature.
It is. It's this. It's you know. It's the thing.
Definitely. And with that, I believe that we've reached all the questions, and I believe we have one last ending shill to do.
Do your shill. All the shills.
Milk? Which shill is that again?
Do I have to sing again? Okay.
All right, Pencil, you do it.
All right. Well, let's start with the Babscon code because I think I remember that one. Off of all ticket purchases, corrector bundles, ticket bundles for Babscon, 10% off if you enter the code Barcast.
All caps.
All caps.
All caps. B as in bitch, A as in ass. I don't know. I'm not gonna do this.
C
That's
as in
like-
cunt.
That's like a 7-letter word.
I wish I could spell.
Yeah, I wish I could spell. I'm too tired.
Dear diary, I wish I could read.
And then we have a horse at the Red Wings Horse Sanctuary named Big Mac, and please go donate to our little buddy
That is actually
at
nice.
the Red Wings Horse Sanctuary.
Oh my, that was actually nice. Pencil.
Yes.
For once,
Again,
you
choir
sang
boy.
nice.
All right, and and we have the soapbox.
The soapbox. Everyone stands on their
Um,
soapbox.
Sophianna!
Yes.
Didn't we? Well, I thought that was to promote the Barcast code.
All right. Exactly. So,
We did do it ourselves.
indeed. So, Sophie, is there anything you'd like to bring it to anyone's attention regarding Babscon or anything else?
Oh, well, as far as Babscon goes, yeah, we're going to be here. I can't 100% confirm that there's going to be a Babscon 2019, but I can say that we're negotiating hotel now. So if you guys are worried about another con disappearing, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. I can say that I love this community. I would not still be doing this after 5 years and planning to do it for many more years if I did not love this community. I think there needs to be more content creators because there's just not enough people out there making fan-related content. The Barcast is amazing. You guys are fun. This has been a great experience. I've had a lot of fun being here.
Awesome.
Let's see. I don't know. I could talk about all kinds of things. I could talk about making mead and making cider and how it all started because I said I bet you I can make apple family farm cider.
So many bets starting off your stuff in your life.
Yeah. Well, this was actually a conversation between myself and Fee. We were putting together the Hold My Cider panel, and I said, I bet you. Looking at this, it's probably just a spiced hard cider. I probably could make that. So let's go and buy the stuff to make a hard cider, like a homemade hard cider. And I researched it, and we went and we dropped $150 on a brewing kit and made hard cider. It wasn't too difficult. And since then, I've ended up making meads and hard ciders, ales, and liqueurs. And I have a couple of containers of things that may someday eventually be whiskey. Anyway.
All right. That's pretty damn cool. All right, guys. With that, I believe that is the end of everything. We've reached the end of our bar is already in space outside of China. So, with that, thank you all for coming here to the Barcast. And let's see, we have pencil number 2.
Who wants a lammy, lammy, lammy? I do.
Oh my god. We've got pencil number 3.
Don't forget to see your granny.
Not the words, you dumb piece of shit. I'm going to hurt you.
We've got pencil number 5.
Try telling Celestia the cake is a lie.
Pencil number 6.
I've had a giggle.
I'm pencil number 4, and this has been the Barcast with Sophie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me, and I look forward to seeing you guys in about a month at Babscon.
Hell yeah.
Hell, countdown.
Yes, it is. Less than 1 month. So with that, guys, this has been the Barcast. Hope y'all didn't have to go to the hospital. Drink some goddamn water and have yourself a goddamn good night. Peace, y'all.
Peace out. Good night.